Hey everybody, welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Wade Acuff. I'm a freelance artist, animator, and illustrator, and I'm also your host for these Photoshop Creative Challenges. I'll be your host all week. If you want more challenges, there's a link in the description below. If you want to post your challenges on the Discord, we have a Discord for that. It's in fact a Discord. It's Photoshop Discord. bit.ly/ps Discord. That'll get you there. I've been giving feedback all weekend. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community over there. So definitely recommend that. Also, you'll find a starter file to have a lot of things in it today. We've got a couple of mock-ups and we have a prompt file with some illustrations in it. So make sure you get those. But let's first take a look at that prompt file. As I say hello to chat, what's up chat? How's it going? Let's see, we've got Frank, Sean, Sam. What's up, RB? How's it going? So yeah, we're going to do some repeat patterns and a share for review file today. We're going to make a custom brand repeat pattern for brand collateral, product designs, clothing lines, etc. But chat, I have to take a minute to catch everyone up. So if you guys don't know, there's a show called Branding Basics hosted by Annika Agarwal. And a few weeks ago, she decided to make me the official taste tester. And I was just like, whoa, there's a lot of responsibility here. I was honored, and I was like, you know what? I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, so I was thinking, I have to live that lifestyle. What would I do? What would be the snacks lifestyle? So I thought I would pitch for an offshoot brand called Smacks. That's right. It's all about that snacking lifestyle. It's called Smacks. And that is what we're going to share a brochure. It's pitch material for Smacks, the brand. Just chew and be you. That is the lifestyle we're looking for. Everybody that subs gets a hoodie and you know, some house shoes. It's, you know, just having some fun. Just to remind everybody, please snack responsibly. But this is what we're going to share for our review file, and we'll talk about that. What we're doing this week is we're showing or highlighting share for review, and I'm going to share this link with you. You'll see a link in the description below called share for review, and it'll take you to this file where you can make comments, you know, constructive, hopefully. You can tell me to change things. You can tell me, you know, hey, can we move this here? And I'll show you that real quick. But over here, you'll see a blue button in Photoshop called share. This is already shared. We'll just run through some of this. Right now, everyone has access to comment. You can invite people to well, when you're making it, it's already been made, but when you're making it, you can invite people. You have options here for the link. You have link settings where you can require a password if you want to, and then you can update. You can see that I updated this 13 hours ago. So when you want to make an update to your content, you can just update it there. But let's take a look at this in the browser. If you want to click on the link in the preview, you can do that. But this is what it looks like in browser form. You can see that Andrew has already made a comment. I've replied. You can place a pin. Let's say I'm placing this pin over here and adding the comment, change tag, question mark. And then when I submit, it'll take a second and then it'll show up here. And then with all of these, you can resolve them and it'll go away. But if you want to undo that, I'm going to undo that just so we can see that I updated this. You have options to edit if you're the owner of the comment. You can come down here and filter who's reviewing, time of day, that sort of thing. You can look at past resolved messages. If I go to resolved, you can see that I made some comments. And then let's see, you've got you can scale out, zoom in, zoom out. What else? Hide annotation. So I've got these little marks on here if I just want to hide it so I can see everything. You have that option as well. If you had multiple pages, you could flip through the pages, but we just have the one. And that's what you can do with share for review. So I'm going to need your feedback all week so that on Friday, we're going to take this file, make these changes live, and then see what we get as a result of that. Real quick though, you can look at comments when you share a file. You can look at comments in Photoshop as well. If you come down to comments, you'll see almost the exact same layout we had in the browser. So you've got a bunch of stuff here. Let's see, change tag. See, this was one that I just added 1 minute ago. And you'll see this pin, if I resolve it, boom, the pin goes away, and that goes to the resolved comments section. And there you go. That is our share for review. You can click on that link and start making comments now if you want to. Peter, that link is right here. Here, I'll share it. I think Sam probably already shared it, but just in case, there we go. All right, so let's get on to making a repeat pattern for our lifestyle brand. And so back into our prompt file. Let's turn smacks off for now, and let's take a walk through this real quick. So I've made a bunch of illustrations that you guys can use. I'm gonna hide my challenge layer as well. So we've got chips, popcorns, I think it's still plural, twists, pretzels, and a cookie. There we go. These are the things we're dealing with here. But let's go ahead and start with making a repeat pattern. You'll see me use, let's see, first before we go in there, view, pattern preview, and look at this. We already have a pattern going. It's so easy. It's so easy in Photoshop. We already have a pattern going on where you can now grab these things and move them around. I'm gonna scale this down. Control T will get you to the transform tool, and I'll just start scaling this down. So I wanna make one that emphasizes the pretzel. Let's see. Can scale this, rotate it. So let's bring our pretzel in. It's pretty big still. I'm gonna bring this down, Control T. You'll see me do Control T. And if you hold down Shift and Alt, Shift will let you bring it, scale it uniformly. Alt will bring it to the center, which you can move the center of your scaling. It's kind of hard to see here. But we're gonna call this, I'm gonna place that in the middle. If you hold down Alt or Option and drag, you will get a copy. And then I want to turn this one around. So I'm going to press Control T again and right click, flip horizontal. Then I'm going to rotate it just to kind of give it, there we go. And I'm going to scale it down slightly because I want the one in the middle to be the emphasis. And now everything else is just to taste, right? Just to taste because they're snacks. Okay, we're gonna bring in our popcorn. Popcorn. I promise I'm gonna stop calling it popcorns, but it's good stuff. It's popcorns, and I do recommend you creating your own illustrations. I'm always going to recommend that. These are here if that's not your thing. You can also pull in resources like we did last week. For the brushes, you could just go to somewhere like stock.adobe.com/free, or you could go to Adobe Express, and bring in some things. The options, you've got a lot of options. Otherwise, everybody's challenge is going to look like mine. And that's okay, but just mix it up. Mix it up as much as you can. Speaking of mixing it up, let's bring in these twists. I don't know what these are, but apparently they're like little snacky twist things. They might be, I don't know. What do you guys think they are? Cheddar twists? Little churro thingies? I'm not sure. And I'm also just playing right now. I'm just looking at the spacing of this. Finding what I like, what I don't like. I think everything is on. We don't have to have everything. That's another thing. You don't have to make your pattern super busy. There is an art form of subtlety sometimes that gets lost. Let's see. I don't know. That, sure, this works. Why not? Actually, I don't like that cookie like that. I'm going to switch it back to something like this. Cool. No, I don't have any jerky. No jerky in this one. But feel free to make some jerky, a jerky illustration, and get going with it. All right, so to make the pattern, if you turn this off, pattern preview, you lose some of your elements. They are gone. And I do want to point out one other thing. Let's turn it back on. I want to point out that this can happen. It does happen. Say you're kind of drifting off your canvas. Your main canvas is over here. And I just have the move tool on. If I want to grab this, I can grab it. I can select this. Let's see, maybe we're over here and here's the chip. Well, as soon as I hit Control T, let's say I want to scale it again, I don't see it. There's no handles for it. It doesn't exist. Well, it does exist. It's just showing up on the canvas, and you were just off canvas. So just keep that in mind. You want to work on the main canvas as much as possible. Even when you're zoomed out, just realize that's where things are going to be actually happening. Another little thing to point out, if you move an item, this is I find very interesting. So I can move this item and then Control T, Control or Command T, it'll get you the transform. But if I move this item down, let's say I'm moving it down from here, and I think this is the one that's going to select Control T, it's actually going to pick the one that is most on the canvas. So just be aware that that's how that works. All right, back to making this a pattern. Leave your pattern preview on, Control A, or select all to select the entire canvas, and then you come over to Edit, Define Pattern, and I'm just going to call this Smacks 1. Click OK. And then let's turn everything back off, pattern preview off. Let's hide our illustrations, make a new layer. Now we can apply this, I'm deselecting the canvas, and we can apply this pattern straight in as a fill. We can just press Shift F5 and come down here to a pattern. And then I think you'll see all other patterns I've made from this, but as soon as you select this, this is the one we just made, click OK, you're gonna get one square, one block, because this is the canvas we made the pattern on. That's where we're gonna get. If you don't want that, if you want a little bit more flexibility, and this is the way I suggest using patterns, let's just hide that. If you come down here to the adjustment layers, grab a pattern layer, and then you get all of these options, angle changing, scale adjustment, and now you can come in here and make this, repeat as much as you want. And then you've got a little repeat pattern happening. That's way too small. We'll go with this, okay? Now the cool thing about this too is you can drag this around for placement forever. Like it's just infinity. It's just repeating that pattern. But you can't do that in the fill method. It's set to the canvas. So just another way to use patterning that you can get the most out of it. So speaking of getting the most out of it, why don't we apply this to one of the mock-ups? Now I gave you these mock-ups. Here's the shoe mock-up. I gave you these mock-ups and they are ready to go. Like I probably should have left a little bit of hoops for you to jump through, but I kind of did on the right shoe here, screen right that is. But I'm going to turn this off first, normal, because right now it's not. I wanted to show what it would be like when you bring it in. So if you double click on the pattern to get to the pattern options, we come down here and we grab our pattern. I want to make this like 20. Let's go 23. Sure. Click OK. Well, it doesn't look great. It's kind of just sitting there on top of the shoe. You can play with any of the blend modes. I find that multiply works very well. And then it's still not quite there. We could come in here and start messing with opacity, and that's, that we're getting somewhere in there. It's fine, but it's starting to fade it a little bit. Well, if you've never used blend if, in the layer styles, if you double click on your layer, and right now I've made this into a folder with a mask on it. If you come up here to your blending options, it's the default that layer styles open with. And we don't need to adjust current layer. We need to adjust what's coming through from the underlying layer, which let me back out of this real quick to show you. This is our underlying layer, which we saw before. So double click back in. If you come down to underlying layer, we want the light, the highlights to show through. So like the white threading. And if you pull this down, you'll really start to see it crunch those colors. That's not quite what we want. We want that to be blended a little bit. So if you hold down Alt or Option, you can drag this out and really start to get a blend. Just really start to see that come through. If you come with the black, the dark side of this, you're doing the opposite of that. You're getting rid of the dark areas, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to lose those. We want those to stay very deep with shadow. So click OK. We have one shoe. And then the other one's really set up for us, I think. All we have to do is select it and maybe change our scale. Yeah. Click OK. And we got some Smacks branded shoes. So yeah, use these mock-ups, make something fun with it. But we're not done. Surely we're not done, right? We got so much time left. Let's make another pattern. I'm going to hide all of this, turn this back on, turn our Smacks illustrations folder, open that back up. Let's take our navigator down so we can see some things here. And let's say turn on view, pattern preview. Let's say we want to make the cookie the emphasis. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring our cookie over. Control Command T, scaling this up. You know what? Let's not make, hang on, let's not make this. Let's not make this. Let's make the Smacks logo word mark. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to make this a smart object by coming in here, right clicking, go to convert to smart object so that we can scale this, move it around. And I think I want to Control T. If you hold down Shift and rotate, we can get to the 45. I kind of like that. Might bring it down just slightly. And then we can start playing around with this. I may just lose the cookie. Maybe we'll replace the chip. Let's see. Pretty bland. Let's bring the cookie back. Put it over here. Change the orientation. Lose this one. Or maybe not lose that one. Maybe put it over here and lose this one. There we go. Maybe not. I don't know. You can play around with this forever and find some things. But I want to show you real quick. You can add a little flair to this too. I find this to be a lot of fun. It's a lot like playing with the symmetry tool. I just switched over to a hard round brush with a little bit of pressure sensitivity. And I have selected my Smacks color. And you can just start having fun with it. Oh yeah, turn up the smoothing. And you can start adding some little, you know, designs in here and just kind of see what works, see what doesn't work. Keep playing around with that. I think that's a little bit much. I think I want to keep this pretty simple. Maybe I want to add like a little swoosh, which isn't really part of the word mark, but I don't know. I like it. So we're going to leave it. Let's add this one. Let's make a pattern with this. Control A, Control Command A, edit, define pattern. I'm going to call this Smacks 2. Click OK. So now we have our pattern. Let's go over to our hoodie mockup, which I've already set up. This one's just going to be basically double click, grab our Smacks change this maybe down a little bit. I got to go further than that. Something like that. We got some really nice Smacks swag. This might be the hoodie that you get for subbing. I don't know, something like that. But yeah. Let's see, I just wanted to zoom in there, Photoshop. Thank you very much. But yeah, this one's all set up. I didn't do any of the blend if with this because it was already a white hoodie. And I'll just show you what that looks like. If we start to bring this in, you start to get those lines. That's not really what we're looking for. You could adjust this and then, you know, do some blending modes to kind of make it a little bit more contrast. You could add more contrast that way. But use those mock-ups. But if you don't make your own illustrations and you want to use these, that's fine. But let's see. So let's make one more pattern. Let's turn all of this stuff off. View, pattern preview. Maybe we do one that's doesn't have a brand. Let's see, we should have a carrier bag. Yes, displacement map. Yeah, there's no displacement map. These are just straight on. They're not warped in any way, but if you are feeling so inclined, please go ahead and do that. All right, let's turn our view pattern preview back on. Let's do one like we did with the pretzel, but let's do the cookie as emphasis. And you know, knock yourself out with these too. If you want to use those mock-ups and make multiple patterns, place those in the, you know, in the Discord for your challenge. That works too. You can just put swatches of patterns if you want in the Discord. In other words, use the Discord. We want to see this work. We want to see you guys taking on these challenges and making them your own. Let's bring back our single popcorn. I'm going to scale this down quite a bit. Something like that. Bring this in. Let's do one with a bit of a, let's see. I don't like any of that. I'm just going to do that until we get back to where we were. There we go. Let's do one with a little bit of a pattern to it. I don't know what's happening here. I'm just going to start drawing, adding a little bit of energy, see where it takes us. Might look cool on the shoes. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so we still have this selected. Edit, define pattern. Oh, what's up, Annika? I'm just seeing Annika is checking out our Smacks brand. Smacks 3, click OK. Come over here to our shoes. These should be all set up, so now it's just basically double click, grab our lined one with the little line illustration, click OK. I think it looks kind of cool. Make sure I'm into the right one. Pattern, click OK. Look at that. Oh, and this, speaking of, see how this cookie lines up? We don't want that. You could warp these around and manipulate these, but like we were talking about before, these patterns repeat over and over and over, so I can just start moving this around. You know, I want to place, maybe you see more of the cookie at the bottom and a little bit of popcorn there. You just move it, and it repeats forever. So just to wrap up, that is all that we have for the repeat pattern, but I do want to make sure you guys know that there is a link for this, the share for review. I want to see your comments coming in. I'm going to take a look right after we finish just to see if anybody started making comments. You can make suggestions if you'd like and put them over here. Oh, look, we have a bunch of comments already. Look at this. Let's just going at it. Let's see, we've got an issue there, we got an issue here, something down here. I don't know. We'll look at the comments specifically as we keep moving. People are here for the stylish shoes. Well, that's cool. Maybe someday we can actually make these. But thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out. We're not done yet on Adobe Live. We have Tyler Pate coming up with the Illustrator Creative Challenge up next. And yeah, stick around for that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow and hopefully all this week. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.